Name 10 books.
Pornography destroyed my life.
Daddy, chill.
Everybody hates you, and I'm glad your husband died.
I can't help but be racist. It's true.
No offense, David Jaffe, but that's bullshit.
Are you mocking my fruit by the foot? All right, fellas and fillettes, good to see ya. It is your Papa Jaffe. Welcome to Gavin Games for the 21st of November. November 24th. God damn, we're rolling into the Thanksgiving, obviously, man. Excellent. Exciting and fun. Exciting and fun. Good to see everybody. Hello, Hector. Hello, Bukaki. Hello, Jojo D. Morgan and all you old knuckleheads. It is nice to have you here. I appreciate it. Nick Wiley says, is anybody out there playing the Stalker 2 on Xbox. I can't figure out how to open the inventory. I think it's just the I don't fucking know, the one of the buttons. Good, Jaffe, shut up. I really didn't give a shit about it. I mean, I started trying to play it again today. By the way, welcome to Gavin and Games. I started trying to play Stalker 2 again today, and yeah, Awesome Tatum says it's the down arrow on the D-pad. So, it's just not for me. It's just way too fucking hard. And I get that it's great, and I get that it's really well made, or it's buggy, but, but I just, I'm not in the headspace to play a game like that right now. So I was just like, fuck it, I'm not going to do it. So maybe I'll come back to it or whatever. But yeah, it's clearly a really well-made game. Bulbo says Jaffe Stalker is on GeForce Now. Yeah, but it's not the Game Pass version. So I have to buy it, and I'm certainly not going to buy it. But we'll see. We'll see if it comes out. If the Game Pass version comes out, I'll probably play it a little bit more just to see. But it's yeah. You got Awesome says you got to be in the mood for hardcore survival. Yeah, that's not where my head's at these days, boys. So fuck it. All right, hang on a minute. Let me put this over here. Da Vinci's Demons, good to see you. We're happy to have you, man. Nice you to stream in time for me taking a dump, says Addy Pie. Addy Pie, your entire life is a dump. So I guess I get lucky in that sense. Listen, I want to tell you something before we get rolling. This Saturday, we got movie night coming up. Pot and popcorn is what I like to call it. I have a gelato joint right here, all in one, from Torres Holistics here in San Diego. Dragon fruit, because some of you guys will ask. It is a hybrid. It's a blend of the indica and the stadia. I know it's not stadia. Shut up. But we'll be doing the pot and popcorn. Okay? And here's what we're going to be watching for Cult of Calypso members, God of War members, mods on the Discord, and mods on YouTube at 4:30ish. We will be watching Clash of the Titans, the original 1981. 1981. Which was very inspirational to God of War, but I'll be stoned, so I won't really care. But to be fair, Clash of the Titans came out the same, I want to say it was the same day, in June 1981, that the other movie that was hugely inspirational, Raiders of the Lost Ark, came out. Both of those just fired my 10-year-old imagination. But we'll be watching Clash in the Discord, and then after that, probably around 6:15ish, give or take, any member at any tier, so God of War, Cult of Calypso, all the mods, and Diet Soda Soldiers, the doors will open for the Evil Dead, and I will be super fucking high at that point, which should be a good time. Now, if you're not able to join us, I think I'm going to be able, I'm not going to be able to record, obviously, the movie part because of copyright, but I think I can record the Discord part. And in that, if you want to kind of watch it with us after the fact, it'll be up on YouTube if I can get that working. But no, I'm not going to open both movies to Diet Sodas, Addy Pie. But maybe we'll see you for Evil Dead. Jay Sauce, thank you for the super chat, buddy. He says, would you play a Days Gone golf cart simulator? I mean, if I could actually drive the golf cart, which is more than I could do in Days Gone, if what you're if what you're suggesting is I just sit and listen to some old lady chew my fucking ear off, no, I wouldn't play that. But yeah, if I could drive the golf cart around and run into the fucking hordes of zombies and shit, sure, why not? Why not? My wife says instead of gelato, try Kim Dog. It's stronger, says Awesome Tatum. Well, send me some, Awesome Tatum's wife, and I'll put it into my orifice and let it run through my brain pan, or I don't know how it works, whatever. But I've never heard of that. I don't even think they sell it at Torres Holistics. Anyway, but yeah, maybe I'll try some different strands. But I like gelato. I dig it. It's good people. Okay, you know what I'm going to say, right? Says Mutant Mo. Just knock up the... Oh, Lord have mercy. The funny thing is, I have not touched the audio since the last time you asked me to turn it up. And then you're like, it's perfect. And I'm like, maybe it's your ears, man. I'm not giving you my address, Bukkake, because you said you're going to Mexico to be with your family. I gave you an invite to Thanksgiving at the Jaffe home. And what happened? I'm going to Mexico. I got family. Fine, fuck you. Fuck you. You'll miss out on my mom's recipe for what we now call nuts and bolts, but she didn't know it was a racist term that she was using. What do you mean you didn't say that? Okay, yeah, if you're in Vegas and you can get down here for Thanksgiving, we'll set a plate for you. Absolutely. Yeah, you know, Jaffe, I didn't answer Brett Moore's question. Oh, Jesus. No, we don't have a full roster yet, but I'm talking to P Turtle right now. There's a bunch of people who want in on the remaining slots, and anybody who wants in will have some kind of competition. If you don't know what he's talking about, it's the 20th of December. The Gabbin' Games community is going up against the Last Stand Meaty guys, and we're going to wipe the floor with them in Pictionary. No, it's Call of Duty Black Ops 6, so it should be fun. It should be fun. All right, let's get into the show. My delightful friends, what's going on? Well, come on now, JoJo D. That's totally unnecessary. That's super expensive and super generous as we roll into the holidays, but I appreciate it, buddy. Here he comes. He's coming out to poop. Come on, baby, squeeze that out. Come on, baby. Come on, baby. Give it. Ooh. Yeah, there we go. Thank you, JoJo D. Very generous of you, buddy. Here's who got 5 memberships here to the Gabbin' and the Games. Brett Moore, Daniel B, SSH 77, Capono 5150, and Brandon Martin. Oh, and Cat 5 Bear, Category 5 Bear. Thank you, JoJo D. That is that's very generous, bud. Thanks, man. And yeah, now you guys are in. If you want to show up and watch Evil Dead with us, you new members, we'll see you on Saturday. Okay. I got a couple. This isn't a news story, but this is something that this was all in the course of like 20 minutes, and I want to bring this up because I just thought it would be fun and interesting to talk about. I'm so amazed people feel this way. And maybe I shouldn't be surprised. I mean, even though I know, for example, when I was growing up, I would romanticize the glamour of the movies, you know, in the 40s and stuff. You know, if you really kind of forced me to think about it, of course I would have said, well, yeah, it was, you know, that's romanticized, right? So I don't know, maybe that's what this is, that a lot of people who were kids when I was making video games, okay, maybe they just really think it was this way. But I've gotten, here's an email, one of them was from Kratos, a guy named Kratos on YouTube. He says, it makes me really sad to say, but I'm losing hope in the gaming industry. Back in the 2000 to 2010s, games were made not with the first goal of making money, but to provide an unforgettable experience and memory to the player. Games are now mainly cash grabs and don't have this memorable feeling. And then this other guy, Sauron76, said, it seems to me that he said literally 20 minutes after, he says, it seems to me that game producers have forgotten that they make games not for themselves, but for players, and players are consumers. And when a consumer is happy, it's better to keep quiet and not try to make the consumer look like a fool. And this is this kind of constant assumption that there was, and it makes sense if you don't really think about it, I guess, that if you were a kid, almost every game you played seemed magical, right? Or every movie, like we're doing Clash of the Titans for movie night for Pot and Popcorn this week. Well, Clash of the Titans is a terrible movie, right? A guy I follow who talks about movies on YouTube, Rob Burnett, was tweeting the other day about how terrible Goonies is as a movie. And Goonies is a terrible movie. It's a wonderful memory of a movie, but Goonies and Labyrinth, unless you saw them when you were 5 or 6 and it's nostalgia, like I saw Clash when I was 10, and it's a wonderful movie as a memory, but to go back and watch that movie, it's not good. It's not good. Goonies is not a good movie. It's slow, it's laborious, it's stupid. It's got some great set pieces. It's got some funny little moments. But fundamentally, if you look at that summer, That was the summer, like, Back to the Future came out. Everybody remembers Back to the Future, right? Back to the Future is a great fucking movie, and it happened to come out the same year. Goonies is not. Again, look, man, I fucking had the Cyndi Lauper, and I had the fucking soundtrack, not just of her song, but the whole fucking thing. I know more about Goonies than probably anybody watching this chat. I know about the production of it. I know about Chris Columbus, who wrote it. I know about Richard Donner, who directed it. I know about the joke the Goonies kids played on the director when Spielberg sent him to Hawaii. I know all about it. I consider myself a fan. I've even watched the YouTube video where these two kids drove to Astoria to check out the goddamn Goonie house. So, you know, fuck you. I get it. But it's not a good movie. The point is, though, is that as it relates to these comments about video games, is when you're a kid, you know, everything, well, not everything, but a lot of things are great because you're a kid. And I wanted to bring it up as it relates to games because I get a number of these people who are saying to me, it's like games used to be made without they weren't so greedy. And I'm here to tell you, man, I was there when they were greedy. They've always been greedy. They've absolutely always been greedy. And they've also always been art. Right? I mean, I'm not saying every now and then something doesn't slip through that's totally whorish financially or totally artistic like Death Stranding, but the vast majority of games that you remember from your childhood were made because the people at Nintendo or Atari or Sega or PlayStation were like, we think we can sell that. And sure, every now and then they could put out some weird as fuck stuff like Tale of the Sun. That's because nobody knew what the fuck they were doing. And also shit didn't cost that much to make. And I'm saying, yes, I include myself. I've told this story numerous times. I literally have the piece of paper where I wrote, you know, I think it was like Mad Max in a City, which was the first inkling after I got back from Utah and being stuck in LA traffic of what would become Twisted Metal. And it was because I was like, and I remember pitching it to marketing, and a bunch of people surrounded that meeting did not get the okay from marketing because they're like, yeah, we can't sell that. You know, we can't sell that. We can sell that. We can sell that. Jaffe's we can sell. Okay, green light, red light, right? It's always been that. And so I only want to bring that up because, you know, I was there, man. I'm telling you, it wasn't the way you remember it at all. It's not, Carlos says, Jaffe, is it like when you find out your favorite music artist was money greedy and a scumbag? No, not at all. It's not that the people who made a lot of the games we loved, didn't love the work and didn't love the medium. They wouldn't have been working in it for the most part if they didn't. And I pitched a bunch of games, and the ones that I got to make were games I loved. So Twisted Metal was greenlit, and it was also a game that I was in love with. It was a passion project for me, but it was also a game that the marketing guys said, we can sell that. But there were other games I pitched that, you know, didn't sell or didn't get past marketing, right? So I think I don't think I'm saying everybody's just a bunch of greedy assholes, but I do think if you believe, like these guys who wrote me, that it used to be this kumbaya time of everybody's just sitting around, just, oh, I had this idea last night. Okay, let's make it. And it became a classic. Yeah, shut up. It was never that. Have you ever worked on a game you didn't want to work on? Eric asked. Yes, the very last game I worked on was a game at Bartlett Jones. And, you know, we had come off the failure of Drawn to Death. And I've shown people what the game is now because the guy that, you know, I had asked me not to show it, he's left the company. So I'm like, okay, fuck it, I don't care. And, you know, it's not that I wanted to work on it and help the team, but it was a project that was like, okay, let's stay in business. And there were other things we had pitched to Sony that I much would have rather them greenlit, and they greenlit this. And they're like, we'll pay you guys to make it, and we'll do all these things to make it successful. And, we were coming off a big flop, man. And so, of course, we're like, yeah, fuck it. Let's keep the lights on, keep paying people. But yeah, it was very, it wasn't like digging ditches, but it was challenging to work on that game compared to the other games. Because I remember the epitome of it for me was we had this great animator, and if you've seen the footage of the game that I've since put up, it's these guys in jetpacks that are playing airball. It's basically Rocket League with giant vacuum cleaners and in football where you tackle each other, whatever. And there was a need for them to call me down because I was up in the loft working, and it's like, hey, we need to figure out, what is the animation process when this guy, one of the characters, is trying to take off, but he's getting tackled. And it was just this very technical, boring thing that I was in my head. I'm going, I really don't care. I don't give a fuck. Just get him off the ground. No one's going to care. I mean, so it was tough. It was tough. But that's the only one. And that's one of the reasons, like Eric says, that's the only one. Are you an exception? I don't know, but that's probably the reason I'm not really jonesing to get back into games. I was in games where you could be paid very well at a time where, for whatever reason, and it may have had to do with the times, it may have had to do with the people above me that were giving green lights. I don't know what it had to do with, but I was able up until that point to pretty much make whatever the fuck I wanted to, as long as it was commercial. So I would show up with 5 ideas, and 4 of them they'd say, yeah, we don't want to do that. But I would always have one idea that I was in love with that they could fall in love with. And I think to go to work now, like if Ubisoft called and said, Jaffe, come be a director on the Division 4, I would be like, no, thank you. Because what's fun about that? I mean, I mean, for a lot of people, I get what's fun about that, but not for me. Not for me. Movie Maniac says, Jaffe, in an EPK, what's an EPK? Like an interview for Drawn to Death, you said you weren't sure what you had to say to a college kid. That's always, I see, that struck me. I wonder, was that always a primary when you created games? In terms of, no, I think it has to do with, what I meant was, I love Drawn to Death. I look at every game I've worked on and said, we should have done this different or done that different. But I absolutely love Drawn to Death as much as any other game I've worked on. And to me, it was a genuine, honest game. And it came from the same place as all the other games I worked on. But I clearly had, severed or weakened whatever connection I had with the audience over the years. And so at that point, it was like, well, now I just have to show up for the rest of my career and do craft. And that's not fun. I guess I could do it. But what's fun about that, right? Whereas before I was, the work was a means to an end. The craft was a means to, get this thing in my brain and my soul and my heart out to people and make it with a team and make it better. Addie Pie says, I don't think you ever had a connection, Jaffe. You just made what you liked. That's what a connection is. When you make what you like and the audience shows up, that means there's a connection. That means what you like is what they like. And there is a connection, Addie Pie. Keep up, sir. But yeah, and I was very privileged in that. And I had a great career because of that. But that's why to me, like I know a number of designers that are kind of like hardcore designers. And they just love design, right? So if you came to them and said, hey, we're doing a cooking simulator about Thai food, and the designer had never eaten Thai food, the designer would go, I don't care, I want to figure this out. I want to deal with the systems and crack the nut to make an addictive group of loops and put them together into a meta loop. And I just like, I don't really know. But there are a lot of people like that, and thank God for them, because we get to benefit. J-Lord, thank you for the super chat, buddy. He says, Jaffe, you worked in the business. You known those in the business. Why are they so reluctant to do the wild stuff you used to do that the Asians still do? Well, again, this is, and thank you for the generosity and being part of our community, buddy. I appreciate it. But this is that same kind of romanticizing. the creative arts, the business that is the creative arts, right? The Asian folks still have to get a green light. If you look at Slitterhead, which I have not come to the point in Slitterhead where it's fallen off the cliff for me yet, right? I still think it's really, really cool. Slitterhead was a game made by guys who worked at Sony as Sony employees, and the reason they left and started their own company was because they said, we don't want to do a game for Sony because Sony is saying they'll make a game with us, but it's got to be a big budget game. And we don't want to make a big budget game because we can't kind of take the kind of risks. And so if you play Slitterhead, it's janky. It's very PS3 looking in a lot of ways. Some of the characters, it's amazing they're shipping characters that look like that in 2024. But the game is interesting enough that for people who really like the theme and the ideas on display, you're totally cool with it, right? So I guess, J-Lord, my answer is that anybody who gets somebody's money to make a game, unless the person giving the money to make the game is a moron, is dealing with going, how can I make these people's investment a good investment? But I still need to follow my own creative passions, right? So, but that would be my answer to that. But yeah, how many hours have I played a Slitterhead? About 4 or 5. Not much. I'm bouncing back and forth between that and Dragon Age. And yeah, Joe in the chat says, do I buy Dragon Age? I mean, I will tell you. So here's what happened. I was playing Dragon Age on EA Plus Pro. So it cost me like $18. And then I was like, today the new Star Wars Outlaws patch came out with the new DLC. And so I said, I want to go back to that. So I went to cancel my EA Pro because I've played like 15 hours of Dragon Age and I'm like, okay, I'm probably done. I really, really like it, but I don't love it so much that I want to buy it, whatever. But I played it one more time as kind of like a wrapping it up. And I'm like, no, I still really like this. I might finish this. So I ended up like subscribing to both now. But I like Dragon Age, man. I mean, I get that if you're coming to it, as I've said ad nauseum this last couple weeks, if you're coming to it as someone who wants it to be what you think Dragon Age should be based on Inquisition or Dragon Age Origins, then clearly you're going to be disappointed. But if you're just looking for a really good high adventure, fun exploration, really fun combat, really pretty looking game, it's good stuff. It's good stuff. J-Lord says, thank you again for the super chat, bud. He says, but gamers want what they are not getting. I don't understand what that means. Gamers want what they are not getting. Well, what they want may not be feasible. Like, I wanted to go stay in the Disney hotel that was like a Star Wars Westworld, right? That was only open for like a year and a half. That was like a big, immersive, you're like on a starship. Remember this thing? And it's out of business. But it was literally, if I would have taken the family, it was literally going to be like $6,000 a night. And you had to go for like, I think it was like a 5-day minimum or something. Well, I wanted that, but I wasn't getting that because I didn't want to pay the price, right? So same thing with video games. It's like gamers say what they want, but end of the day, they're not going to be able to get the big budget games. Like Stellar Blade was $50 million if you're saying that's what the gamers are saying they want. And it sold okay. It didn't sell great, but it sold okay. And they're making a sequel. It'll probably come to PC day one, hopefully. But it's not about affording it, though. This is what people don't understand about money, Frank. Not that I'm some rich guy, but if you spend your money on shit like that, you're throwing freedom out the window. And then I would have to go make a fucking game like, Discord. Not Discord. I'm looking at Discord. I'd have to go make a game like The Division 4, right? So no, I don't think I will. We'll talk to about Star Wars in a little bit. Okay, I want to talk about this only because we haven't talked about it in the last few days. It's probably been talked to death. I have nothing new to say other than, hang on. Sony's talking about buying this big media conglomerate that also owns FromSoftware. And they wouldn't just be getting FromSoftware. They'd be getting Kadokawa, which is, they call it a media powerhouse. Here's what they get. You get all the Miyazaki stuff, although I don't know if they have the rights to all of it. They also are really big into anime, manga. There's a bunch of properties they would get that would come with this that would be really valuable, not just to PlayStation, but to Sony in general. But people were asking, or I saw people online going, well, now where are all the PlayStation fans that were against the Xbox thing? And now, the people are trying to paint it like it's some sort of inconsistency. Well, I can't speak to anybody else, but I think this is great. I think this is fucking great for Sony. I don't know anything about all the manga stuff and everything, but I'm sure that is a big value add. But if you're just talking PlayStation, having those guys in their quiver would be fantastic. I said this on a stream the other night. It would be the only reason I've heard so far to buy a PlayStation 6. If you're telling me that the day one and I have to wait a year to get a sequel to Bloodborne or Elden Ring or Miyazaki's new stuff, then I'll get myself some hardware. I am pro acquisitions. I'm not pro acquisitions always, but in these cases, sure, why not? It allows Microsoft and Sony to kind of keep hammering at each other, which means, I hate to sound like a tropey cliche, but I guess that's oxymoron or redundant. I hate to sound like a cliche, but when people compete, we get to benefit from it. But end of the day, all the console shit's gone away anyway, but we know that. But thank you so much. I hope we all know this background is fake, right? We're all aware this is a bullshit background. I just want to be clear. I would not want anybody to think I'm trying to, get one over on you guys. By the way, I didn't say earlier, I didn't say yesterday, Loot Sao, I think is how you say his name, has been a member for a long time, and I may not have had a chance to say thank you, and I may have missed Travis coming on earlier today. He's been a member for 7 months and saying thank you, but I appreciate that, buddy. Both you guys. Then Jojo D, been a member for 49 months, buddy. Thank you. He says, indie game is 19 days away for Xbox. I know you love your indie. I know your rule for not streaming a single player game. Are you going to stream it? Oh man. Here's what I'll tell you, Jojo D. I'm certainly gonna play it on my own a little bit first. And depending on the kind of game it is and depending on my response, that will dictate if I stream it. Because look, man, I don't know if I'm going to like it or not, but I can tell you that so far everything I've seen from the cutscenes, and it feels like what indie should have been during Crystal Skull and certainly Dial of Destiny. And if I play it and I get transported back to my Ute, where indie was my childhood hero and it was just the coolest fucking thing on the planet, then no, I will not stream it. But if it's like, what, it's cool, it's fun, but it's not changing my life, then yeah, then I'll totally stream it. Absolutely. But I'm looking forward to it. Looking forward to it very, very much. In fact, I'll be getting, I think you can play it early, right? Isn't it coming? It's coming if you get early access. If Jaffe says, Addy Pie, if Sony picks up FromSoft, gamers will finally get a Bloodborne remake. I mean, maybe. I don't know what's been holding that up. But regardless, though, I think, I mean, man, I'm nuts for those guys. I'm absolutely nuts for that company. I'm nuts for their games. Where's that book I got? I showed you guys the other day. I don't even know where I put it now, but I got that big fucking Bloodborne book. It's just, that game's beautiful, man. Their whole thing. But I'm going to show you guys a game in a little bit, though, that it's certainly not going to give Bloodborne any competition, but my God, it is one of the coolest RPG combat systems I have seen, maybe ever. So we'll see. Does anyone know how to unlink your YouTube account from Discord? I assume there's the way you linked it. You just go and you say bloop. I mean, there's an unlink, right? There was a link, right? Okay. But I would like to ask why you're going to do it, only because we have a lot of members here who link to the Discord. And is there something annoying about Discord in general or our Discord specifically that would that we could fix, that would motivate somebody to want to unlink? I would love to know that. Okay. How many games do I switch to in a game? Oh, God damn it. How many? God damn it. I want to do the streams earlier. I really do. I'm tired. Okay. Jaffe, how many games do you switch to in a day? Says Bulbo, I think. Yeah. Today I started playing Stalker. No, I woke up early because I was excited for Star Wars. I started playing Outlaws and GeForce was having problems with it and it crashed. So then I went to Stalker and I'm like, I can't play this. I can't spend any time with this. It's just too hard. I'm not going to invest my time. And then I switched to Stalker, and then I switched to Dragon Age. Had a really good time. Played that for about 45 minutes. And then the GeForce was working, and it all worked out great. I have to wake up. What do you mean I'm a little crazy? I'm not crazy. Maybe a little bit. Okay, your friend worked on the Bloodborne book. We'll tell him it's beautiful. It's a great fucking book, man. Okay. Okay. No, I took Ritalin before I started streaming. It just hasn't kicked in yet, so I'm getting all, kind of sleepy. Okay, let's talk about Armored Core. Somebody in the chat's talking about Armored Core. I just want to bring this to your attention because you don't want to miss this. Right now, as we head into the Black Friday, Elden Ring and Armored Core 6, which I don't even own, are on sale right now for $20. You can get both of those gems, Elden Ring and Armored Core Fires of Rubicon, which I hear is phenomenal. You can get them for $20 each at Bandai Namco's website, I think is where you get them. Yep. Now, obviously, Elden Ring, you know what that is my favorite game of all time. Everybody says that Armored Core is pretty hardcore, but people say it's still great. It's still great. So, yeah, Morgan says it was her favorite game of the year last year or 2 years ago. No, last year. Okay, so let me let you know. Okay, Rob O says Amazon has that deal as well. Excellent. Listen to this. Cult of Calypso member Film Gamer X. Thank you, buddy. He says, hope all is well, Jaffe. Started playing Celeste, and holy crap, it's addicting. It is addicting. It got too hard for my old man reflexes, but it's really cool. What is your game of the year for 2024? Also, hope you have a great Thanksgiving next week with the family. Thank you, buddy. And thank you for supporting the show. Very, 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 very grateful. I mean, I don't know my game of the year yet because I still need to play indie. I still need to, finish up some things I'm playing. Right now, I would say I can tell you what lives in my top 5, if that's valuable. And I'm probably missing some games because I got to go back and look at what I've played. But I would say right now, Star Wars Outlaws is in the top 5. Maybe Black Myth Wukong is in the top 5. While We Wait Here is definitely in the top 3. Call of Duty Black Ops 6 probably is in the top 5. Maybe Trading Card Simulator, maybe, but I'm not sure yet. Okay. Hey, what's happening to the living room? Oh, yeah, it is loading, isn't it? Hang on, what happened? Come on now. There it goes. Sorry about that. Oh, yeah, Silent Hill 2. That's what I'm saying. I fucking forget. That's a great point. And then I still need to play Metaphor ReFantasio. So, yeah, it's not no Silent Hill, Calpy. Absolutely. Silent Hill 2 is in there as well. There's no fucking doubt in the world. I love Silent Hill 2, and that's probably my top 3, if not 1 or 2. But I have to really go back. Like the other day, I saw a bunch of games I had played on Xbox Cloud, and I had even forgotten I had played those games because they all kind of loop together. So I will be doing a list and a show and everything, but it won't be until probably February or March because I don't think you can really do that justice. And I don't care if I'm going to tell you what I think the games of the year are, it is going to be honest. It may not be your game of the year, but it'll be what oh my God, what's happening with my fucking fireplace? I like, Lucas says your immersion is broken. Yeah. I mean, really? Well, it should be working. Come on now. I don't know what's going on. My living room is buffering. That's right. Okay. All right. Chrome Clan Designs says this. Thank you for the super chat, buddy. He says, Jaffe, thanks for making my favorite games from my childhood. Axel Power back to you, sir. It wasn't just me. It was a whole team of really talented people. I was heavily involved, but without those guys and some of those ladies, there would be nothing. So on behalf of all of them, I will say thank you from us to you, and I will say thank you from me to your generosity and your message. Yeah, I love hearing that people grew up loving the stuff that we were shoveling. And I don't mean shoveling like I thought it was shit, but I mean the stuff that I genuinely put a lot of heart and soul with the rest of the team into. Thank you for that, buddy. Thank you for that. I didn't miss anybody's super chats. I have, what you have to understand, Ludo, is I am a genius, which means I'm like a I have multiple processors working in the brain, buddy. And which means I have okay, these are the super chats I have to get to. This is going to be the best time to read that based on the show I have lined up. I'm doing all this in real time. You would be impressed if you saw my brain. Either that or I just forgot. The point is, Ludo drops a super chat all the way from merry old France. I saw that living room. He says, thank you, buddy, for that, Ludo. He says, what's the role of a director of a game in concrete terms aside from coordination? Well, there is very little coordination. Thank you for the super chat, bud. It's not coordination that's what a producer does. You have to do this on time, and this is how many days we have to do these art assets, blah, blah, blah. Trust me, you don't want me anywhere near that. I've tried that before. It was terrible. The game never shipped. I don't know how to do that. Real skill, real talent. A game director is basically, in the simplest terms, and then I'll give you the concrete job description, but in the simplest terms, your job is to make sure the audience on the end of the process who takes your game home or downloads it is happier than a pig in shit with the work that the team does. Now, how much of the ideas or the original North Star that the team is following comes from the team director or from the game director, that totally depends. In the case of my stuff that I worked on, I was always the guy that was saying, this is the North Star. This is what we're following. And then from there, my day-to-day, the concrete terms were, you'd meet with concept artists, you would write a description of mechanics, or you would sit with designers and play through a level and go, this level is really fun, but where it comes in the game, it's going to be too long for the overall pacing. So we either need to find a way to rethink this level to go somewhere else where a long level will fit, or maybe we could break this level up into 3 different levels and put them in these parts of the game, right? Or you're meeting with the programmers because what you thought was going to be fun isn't fun, and he only now has 3 days to make something, so you've got to come up with something or sit with the design team and go, we've got 3 days to figure out why these weapons aren't working, and get it to the programming team because they only got 3 days to code it. So what I think was good about directing, because of my brain, my ADD brain, was that every day there was always a very different challenge, or there were lots of different challenges as the production rolled on. But there was always still that main goal in the distance that was, that we were always racing towards. So that would be my answer, and I appreciate the question, buddy. Okay. All right, let's move forward. I want to show you guys some stuff. But yeah, I am excited about Elden Ring, the purchase of that company, because I think, I don't know. I think it's cool, man. I think it's cool for companies to have exclusives that make, let's put it this way. Today, I was about to take my money from EA because Ubisoft came out with something I wanted more than Dragon Age now. So I was about to take my subscription money from EA Plus And then I was going to give it to Ubisoft because I wanted to play Star Wars Outlaws, the DLC wildcards, right? That's what competition does. I think that's wonderful, right? So, you know, and ultimately, like I said, all the boxes are going away anyway. So I don't think Sony buys companies and ruins them. I don't think you have that evidence. They bought Insomniac. They bought Sucker Punch. There's a bunch. Usually the developers they buy do really, really well underneath them, actually. But anyway, we'll see where it goes, fellas. But that's. I know we hadn't really spent much time talking about it. I'm not going to read all of these to you, but the Golden Joystick Awards were given out in the merry old UK today. What's interesting about these is there's a panel, a jury panel that decides the nominees, and then the actual votes are 100% voted on by fans, which is kind of stupid, but it's no more stupid than most of the other systems. It's kind of stupid because I guarantee you people who voted on, you know, best indie game, for example, they didn't play all the ones that were nominated. But that said, let me tell you the big ones. Best storytelling, Final Fantasy VII. Best multiplayer game, Helldivers 2. Best visual design, whatever that means. I don't know if it's best looking game or the actual art design. Who's to say? Not me. Black Myth Wukong, best visual design. Best indie game, Balatro, which I'm so tired of seeing people who've never even played Balatro getting mad that it's like, that shouldn't be a Game of the Year nominee. It's like, it's some poker game. I'm like, if you think Balatro is just some poker game, you're a fucking moron, okay? And you should go play it. I saw somebody on Twitter that actually, it was nice to see somebody walk it back on Twitter. They were like, I don't know who this was, but they were like, I was shitting all over Balatro, they said, and then my buddy bought me a copy and just said, just fucking play it. And the guy said, I played it, and I've been playing it for like 12 hours, and I'm an idiot, and I'm wrong, and I am so sorry. It's delightful. Best indie game self-published. I mean, what are we doing, folks? Everybody gets a trophy, I guess. Best indie game self-published. Another Carbs Treasure. I think it was another Crab's Treasure, but it says Carbs, the thing with the souls underwater. Best lead performer went to the guy who played Cloud in Final Fantasy, Cody Christian. Best supporting performer went to Brianna White, who played Aerith in Final Fantasy. That's how Mike Tyson pronounces her name, Aerith. Breakthrough Award, Balatro Still Playing Award went to Minecraft. Console Game of the Year went to Helldivers 2. Most Wanted Game, GTA 6. Best Expansion, Elden Ring, Erdtree. That's the way you do it, I suppose. People seem to be upset. They're upset that, people are giving out awards for Erdtree, but it is what it is, baby. Best gaming hardware is the Steam Deck OLED, and the Streamer's Choice Award is a game I tried to play, but I couldn't because it just was buggy as fuck, but it was chained together. Now, I want to show you this. This is how they do their ultimate game. And I asked Keeley when he was on the show about this, I said, would you ever consider doing something like this? And he said no. And I think we were running late, and we were off to a late start because I was having technical issues getting his sound working, so I didn't have time to press him on why. But watch how they do it over there. This is also how they do their actual political elections, too. But this is them announcing the best, I guess what they call the Golden Joystick Award for the ultimate game. Okay, here we go. Oops, hang on. Let me make the screen better for you. That's not good. That's not enjoyable for your brain to see it like that. Let me give it to you the right way. Yeah. Hang on. Here we go.
Safe to say there's a lot of good stuff in there.
Hello,
Who
Governor.
did you choose as the winner? Let's start by counting down the results from spot number 5 to the runner-up.
Right? So they start at number 5. That's how it should be. Whether you do it all at the end or it's like the beginning of the show. I'm Jeff Keeley. We've got 6 games nominated for Best Game of the Year. The start of the show, number 6. Astrobot, whatever. Who gives a shit, right? And then 35 minutes later, we get to see what number 5 is, and we work our way up to the top 2 at the end. That's called drama. That's how they do it, although they do it all in a clump at the end. Here you go. These are the top 5 games voted on by players.
Ultimate Game of the Year. At number 5, it's Metaphor ReFantasio.
I mean, the number of people who have played this so far. I mean, this game is going to be a classic, and I've only played half of the demo, but everybody who's playing this and talking about this is just like, you need to play that game. So I'm sure we're going to look back and go, if that didn't win Game of the Year, I have a feeling most, like if Astrobot gets Game of the Year over Metaphor, I think that's going to be one of those we look back and go, aye. Not to say Astrobot's a bad game, but this seems to be sort of a real meaningful, introduction into the canon of a new RPG. Oh, I get it. Bukaki says, I don't think it's your kind of game. Sure, Persona wasn't my kind of game either, but I still can appreciate it for what it is. Arc Vision, do me a favor. I need you to go outside, go down to the nearest corner, and go fuck yourself, okay? Okay, you stupid fuck. That was for you. Okay. All right, here we go.
Number 4, it's Silent Hill 2.
Well, Jeff doesn't vote on it first.
At number 3, it's Helldivers 2.
Surprising, let's see what games you love.
At number 2, it's Final Fantasy VII Rebirth.
Okay, and then I'm just gonna talk to you about number 1 because I can't show you number 1 because there's licensed music. How can I have an opinion if you didn't finish all the games? Because I'm not voting. I would not vote in these things. I won't do it because I'm not qualified. Most people are not qualified to vote for these things. But I can have an opinion based on what I've played, and that's all it is, and that's all I present it as. But if you want me to present it as this is the best game of the year, as a statement other than just based on what Jaffe liked, then I wouldn't do that. So Game of the Year, Ultimate Game of the Year, went to Black Myth Wukong, and here's the acceptance speech from the guy. Although you can't read it, it's really small. He basically says, "Thank you. I'm in China. They won't let me leave. I hate it here. I think my whole family is dead. Please come get me," is what it says underneath the Chinese. This is Feng Ji from Game Science. But anyway, there you go. So, I mean, that's exciting. But it is weird. There is no Astrobot in there. We didn't see, what did we miss? We didn't see any Astrobot in there. We certainly didn't see Balatro in there. It's not racist or culturally insensitive, Bukaki. It would be racist if I was saying that's no, it's not disrespect. Fuck you, Addy Pie. If I was pushing on the Chinese citizens, it would be racist. I am pushing on the dictatorship of President Xi, or however you say his fucking name, and his horrible human rights violations. So now, do I think America does some shit too? You goddamn right. All right. Okay, let's move on. But anyway, yay for them. I really enjoyed this game. I struggle to see how this is a best game of the year. That's a hard one to get my head around. It's really good. But I couldn't tell you why it would be game of the year. Okay. Moving forward, if we can't. No, see, I'm getting better at ignoring trolls like Addy Pie. It is really good. It's their first game, and it's really good. I loved it. It's one of the best games of the year. Best game of the year? Again, it's subjective, not for me. Okay. What do you guys think about this? People are not happy. They're not, I don't know. Guys are weird, man. I've decided guys are weird, like geek guys. Sophie Turner has been tapped to play Lara Croft in Amazon's Tomb Raider series. People upset about this. She's not attractive. What are you talking about? Her only thing she's guilty of is she looks a little bit like J.K. Rowling when she was young. But short of that, cool, man. You know, she might need to dye her hair if she wants to look more like the character. But she's cool. What's the problem, man? What's the fucking problem? I don't know. Yeah, she's not your type of attractive. Great. I'm sure she doesn't care. She just doesn't look like Laura, says Prince Green. None of that matters, though, man. That's the thing. It's like when people were saying forever, Nathan Fillion should be Nathan Drake, and it's like it's not a cosplay contest. It's about who can communicate the essence of the character as that character is going to be portrayed in that movie or that show or whatever. It's easy to find somebody that looks like Lara Croft, but that doesn't mean that they're going to be good in the role. She doesn't have enough chin, according to the. I guess. What happened? What happened? And it doesn't even matter, right? Because what was that other woman? Some Oscar winner who played the last time Lara Croft was in a movie. I haven't even seen it. This girl. Well, nobody went and saw her. Nobody went and saw this movie. It did okay, right? Alicia Vikander, right? Whatever. I got nothing against her. I'm sure she's a fine actress. I'm sure she did fine. But she looks more like Lara Croft. Who gives a shit? It doesn't make a difference. It's about, is the movie good? Is the movie fucking good? It's not about that. Oh, shut up, Bukaki. Shut up, motherfucker. Here is I'll show you this real quick. Here is a trailer they made with her in the role. Obviously, this isn't what they did. I don't know if she's a bad actor. I don't really care. I don't care. It's a fucking stupid idea for a movie anyway. I mean, what are you really making a movie based on? It's a stupid idea for a movie anyway. Lara Croft is basically, there's nothing there. There's nothing to it. Yeah, she's a beautiful woman, and yeah, it's in a commercial genre, but, what's special about it? Nothing. Sound Test says Nathan Fillion was perfect. He might have been perfect, but he wasn't box office perfect, though, is what I'm saying, right? That's the thing. There's so many decisions that go into this. Like, I mean, look at the fucking Uncharted movie. I still think it was ridiculous that they put Tom Holland in that movie as Nathan Drake. But the only reason that movie got greenlit and then went on to make over $100,000 and is getting $100 million and is getting a sequel is because Tom Holland could open a movie at the time, and he probably still can if it's an action-adventure movie. But I have nothing, I have no problem with Nathan Fillion, but the guy can't open a movie.
In a world of forgotten history,
by the way,
some secrets are meant...
Obviously, this is AI, but think about the quality of AI that the movie studios are able to get, where they can probably do casting like this now and go, take Sophie Turner and let's really make her like the director thinks Lara Croft needs to look, and let's cut, a 20-second trailer.
To stay buried.
Every step brings me closer to the truth, but some truths are dangerous.
She has faced death before, but the real battle has just begun.
I'm not saying you release it, but just to help visualize it.
You think you can stop this? You're just a relic of the past.
You don't understand. This isn't just about treasure, it's about the people you've hurt.
No, this isn't a real trailer. This is something.
A hero's journey through the heart of the unknown.
It's not a real trailer.
Some legends never die, they only evolve.
It's just all done with AI to show what she might look like. That's all it is. But Amazon does have the rights to the movie, though, yeah. And that's the thing. That guy says they're either going to have to fill in a lot of blanks or just go the Angelina Jolie route again. Dumb B-movie action. Yeah, the original Tomb Raider, both of those movies were terrible. It's not the video that Amazon put out. This is just something somebody did as a fan with AI. This is not a real trailer. It was just like, hey, if you want to see what she might look like, that's the only reason I'm showing it, because we're talking about it. Okay. Did I see the Star Trek thing they made with AI deepfakes of William Shatner? No, but I heard about it. I absolutely heard about it, and it sounds great. It sounds really cool, actually. And I will watch it. People were saying it's just like genuinely a good short film. Chrome Clan Designs, thank you for the super chat. He says, your broken heart gave us the edgiest games ever made. Sorry, not sorry. Haha, love your work. What I will say to you, sir, and thank you for the super chat, is what Jay-Z says, which is my pain, your entertainment. So the best, and again, it wasn't just me. There was a lot of people working on that game, helping me write the game and obviously create the game part. I was just, I was a very important leadership cog and creative cog. I'm not trying to talk myself down on that, but it ain't nothing without those folks as well. But that said, though, yeah, I mean, there was a lot. All the games I got to work on were very personal. Even if I didn't know it at the time, they were very personal. But thanks, man. I appreciate that. Okay. Jaffe, do you consider, says Bulbo, adding game streaming more into your schedule? Maybe at night when I have nighttime time. Like tonight, I don't know if I have any plans, so I might stream something. But I'm not a really good game streamer. And my game streams don't tend to do very well, and they don't tend to build my audience. So it's something I tend to like to do for members if they want to watch me stream something or talk about something while we're playing it. But I'm not looking to be like a regular... hey guys, we're playing Stalker 2 today. No, that's not fun for me. Okay. Jojo D wants to know when the Christmas season starts on Gabbin' and Games. Probably on Thanksgiving Day. Like, we're going to have a Thanksgiving Day special. I've got some things planned, or it might be the night before. I haven't figured it out yet. Ravno says, notice he ignored how bad of an actress she is. I don't care how bad of an actress she is. It's a fucking action movie. What am I looking at? Sophie's Choice here? Or am I looking at a girl who needs to look good while she's running from bad guys and giant fucking statues about to collapse on her? Yeah, Unicorn Overlord is another one that's probably, or is definitely in my top 10 that I need to finish. So I may stream that for sure. Nothing will grow the channel unless you make more clickbait rage. I don't care then. I'm fine not growing the channel then. I have no interest in that shit. Indiana Jones is an action series. Does that validate bad acting? No, it's great when you can get both, but it wouldn't matter. It wouldn't matter if the action is on point. I'm not knocking good acting. I'm just saying that you don't need it, if you're making that kind of movie. Okay. I want to show you this trailer. Again, this game has gotten a lot of backlash. It's gotten a lot of hate. Today, Ubisoft released the biggest patch of the game. It reduces fail state for stealth missions. If you fail in stealth, it just lets you solve it by shooting. It fixes a lot of quality of life issues. It makes the AI better. They addressed a lot of the issues that people had. And I really am bothered by this response to this game, because it kind of reminds me of the movie Solo. I'm a kid who grew up when Star Wars, the original Star Wars, was in its heyday. Okay. And so the movie Solo, for example, directed by Ron Howard, who directed Willow and Cocoon and a bunch of those 80s movies, feels like an 80s summer blockbuster. This game, Star Wars Outlaws, feels more like Star Wars, proper 70s, early 80s Star Wars, than probably most other Star Wars things. But regardless, The DLC for it is out today, along with the patch. It's also being sold on Steam. Whatever you want to say about Ubisoft, if you look at this, if you look at what they did with Ghost Recon, Rainbow Six, they do seem to be okay sticking it out and going, you know what? We're not going to give up just because we had a month that wasn't delightfully lucrative. And so I don't know. I don't know how this is going to end up doing with all those changes. But yeah, I think this is more Star Wars than Jedi Fallen Order. I think the Stig games from Respawn are excellent. They're wonderful, but they feel more like an individual story set in the Star Wars universe. This feels more like a playground where you get to play in the Star Wars universe, and I think it's you don't feel the director's thumb on the scale. It just feels very slavish to the world of Star Wars, and it's excellent. Anyway, I'm going to show you this. I'm going to show you this trailer. It's 1 minute and 30 seconds. This is out today. If I do stream tonight, I'll probably be streaming this. But here, I did beat Star Wars Outlaws. You know, think about that. I rarely finish anything. Anthony says there's too much stealth in it. Well, again, they've fixed that. They've said today's patch, if you get caught stealthing, you no longer get kicked out and have to start again. They're like, okay, you got caught. Now you got to shoot your way out of it. You got to fight your way out of it, or you have to run. So now it's no longer. There's no more fail state for stealth failure, which is excellent. I love Outlaws. I think Outlaws is easily in my top 3. And coming back and playing it again today after a month was like, oh, I love being back in this game. So here's the trailer for Wildcard, which comes out today.
Hey, Vess, I've got a client who wants to make you rich. Governor Thornton.
There's an exclusive Sabacc tournament being held on the casino cruiser Morenia.
I don't work for the Empire.
I could have the entire underworld believing otherwise. All you need to worry about is finding the Morenia. Grand prize is of exceptional value. You're going to win it for me.
How? The player list is confidential.
Nothing stays secret in a place like this.
So this is the Sabacc legend we've been waiting for?
Oh yeah, we go way back.
Let the game commence! I'm not the only one who saw that, right?
Wait. I wasn't cheating. This is a mistake.
From all of the
Your hyperfuel intake's a mess.
Don't you have your own ship?
You should probably get the weapons ready.
Give me a regular rifle. Think you can handle it?
All right, strap in.
All right, so this is out today. It's good stuff. Well, I don't know if this is good stuff. I haven't played it, but the game it's bolted onto is really good stuff. Aren't you tired of them using the same characters in Star Wars? No, because this game, this is the DLC. In the actual game, they're all brand new characters. I'm trying to think. There might be a couple of little winks and nods to certain classic characters, like when she goes into Jabba's I don't know, whatever it's called, his hideout from Jedi. You can see Lando hanging on the wall and stuff because it's set in that time period. But it's not like, oh, there's Luke. Oh, there's the Death Star. It's none of that. It's really good, man. It's really, really good. But you know, there you go. So I'll be playing it. I'm sorry, reading the chat. Why do you rag on critically acclaimed games, but 7 out of 10s get your full attention? Give me an example of a game that I rag on that's critically acclaimed. I mean, I don't do it. I don't do it if I don't have a reason to do it. There are plenty. So take Metaphor Refantasio, right? Metaphor Refantasio, like Bukaki says, is probably not a game for me. But I can absolutely appreciate it. And if it goes down as the next big RPG, I would go, oh yeah, totally makes sense. Astrobot, as you guys are bringing up in the chat, Astrobot, I think is a really solid video game. I don't think if you strip out the nostalgia of Astrobot, it is a great platformer. It's a fine platformer. It's nothing's wrong with it. It's not the second coming of Banjo-Kazooie or anything. It's a solid, clever, very well made, very well executed platformer. But if you want to see that team working at a higher level, go look at Astrobot on PSVR 1. Because that game is actually groundbreaking. That game is amazing. This game is just really well done, been there, done that. But Nick Wiley says, is Outlaws better than Astrobot? For me, it is. But better is subjective. We're talking about creativity. We're talking about art. And Last of Us Part 2 is one of my favorite games from Sony. I did not like Last of Us 1, but I did very much like Last of Us 2. A lot. It was excellent. Do you need to pay for the Star Wars Outlaws DLC? Yes, unless you're subscribing like I am on, what's it called? Ubisoft Plus. It comes with it, but you don't own it. But if you want to buy it, and it's on sale right now, it's probably going to drop price even more on Black Friday at different places. But you can get it now for $50. I think you still have to buy the DLC, but I have no idea, what it costs. Yeah, Lando can't be bought. That's right, Hector. 3 months after launch, Star Wars Outlaws' next big update is starting to sound like a whole new open world game. I already went over this, but basically there's just a lot of stuff. These guys, whether they succeed or not, and again, it's their fault for releasing a game, which I still had no problem with. I loved it. I could overlook a lot of the problems because it was really great for me. But end of the day, though, they clearly weren't satisfied with the people's response. And so they've done a lot of work, not just on bugs and stuff and quality of life, but actually retuning big parts of the game and stuff. So, if you've been thinking about it, maybe it's time to at least, reconsider. Here's that thing I was telling you. Star Wars Outlaws is removing forced stealth from almost all quest objectives. So that's a good move. Even though it had, one of the reasons stealth in that game is so bad is it doesn't train you appropriately on how to use your little buddy. And once you realize you can use them for a lot of different things, it gets a lot better, but it's still nice to not have that, as a limiter, basically. 1 minute says it's all about what your taste is. Astrobot for me gives grown man at the playground vibes. Do you mean like pedophile vibes, or do you mean like it, as a grown man, it reminds you of being a kid? Because I would argue with Astrobot that there is, and again, nothing's wrong with this. It was baked into the formula, baked into the design, but there's such a nostalgia play at work in that game that I would ask you to imagine it without the Sony or the PlayStation nostalgia and go, then would you still love it as much? And I don't mean as a product, because the nostalgia is a big part of the product, but as a pure piece of play mechanics, would you love it as much? And if the answer is yes, then great. That's wonderful. But for me, I think it's clear that my brain doesn't really respond to the nostalgia other than like, oh, that's neat. And then I kind of move on. Okay, let us move on. Like I said, like what nostalgia, Jaffe? Just some themed bots? How about the entire game takes place inside a PlayStation? How about you're flying a PlayStation controller around? How about all of the characters that you want to rescue are based on very popular and very obscure PlayStation hits that hardcore nostalgia fans of PlayStation would know? That game runs on nostalgia. It runs on nostalgia. I don't care, Nick Wiley. I'm not arguing with you about it. I don't. What? Let me ask you, Nick. This is what fascinates me. I don't care about what you're actually talking about. But I do care about this. What's the point of? I'm giving you my opinion. You gave me your opinion. There's no real answer, right? I get it. For you, Nicholas Wiley, it's not a nostalgia play. It's totally fine. For me, it is. Yes, that absolutely. Blackjack, 100%. He says Star Wars Outlaws is just nostalgia. The game is nothing special. 100% you are right. You are absolutely right. And that's fine for me. But I can admit that. If you took out Star Wars from Star Wars Outlaws, it would be just like, by the way, from everything I've seen of the new Indiana Jones, if you take out all of the heavy lifting that the brand of Indiana Jones has done before the game came along, or Star Wars, and then the world or the effort that the teams put in to reflect that work, you're absolutely right. Star Wars Outlaws and Indy look like they would both be, serviceable, well-made, fun games that I probably would maybe play for an hour or two and move on with my fucking life. Absolutely 100%, no doubt. I mean, I do think the Star Wars game at least is well written, but on its own. But yeah, I mean, it's not a. Yeah, I mean, I don't have any stake in this. It's not like I'm going to be like, don't shame me for saying that the game I like the most this year is just built on nostalgia. No, it is. Yes. That's probably why Ubisoft spent so much on the license. All right. Let's talk about the top games in America right now, according to PlayStation, anyway. Top of the chart, Call of Duty, Fortnite number 2, 2K25 number 3, FC 25, just the soccer game. College football, nice to see that back up there. Great game. Number 4, number 5 is Madden. Dreamlight Valley, it's Bukaki's favorite game of the year. Number 6, Roblox, number 7, 8, GTA 5. I guess I counted wrong. Number 9, Farming Simulator. That seems to be doing pretty well. People seem all excited about this game. Maybe that's the MAGA effect. They're like, see, hunting and farming's good, people. Finally, a game for MAGA. I don't know why it's doing so well, but a lot of people are into it. Okay. Sports are dominant. Yeah, this is like the charts back when I was getting into the industry. The top 10, 90% of it was sports and fighting games, man. What do you think Kratos will go which pantheon? I don't know, probably Egypt, but it sounds like they said that Hip Hop Gamer said he had an exclusive. I know nothing about this, but he was talking about his information saying that they were going to go back to young Kratos in the next one. So whether or not that is ancient Greece or they just mean they're going to go back to Kratos before, like young Kratos at this point could be the end of God of War 3, or it could be like Kratos when he was 20. I have no idea. Okay, Hip Hop Gamer is not an idiot. Hip Hop Gamer is a guy who gets and breaks a lot of news stories that other people pick up and take credit for, and nobody gives this guy any credit. I think hip hop's great. He does a lot of great for charity. He does a lot of great things for local schools. He is a very, very good dude, and I won't have you talking bad about him. Okay, anyway, there's your top 10. Oh, but I wanted to tell you, though, the reason I brought this up is because there's going to be a lot of sales coming up for the Black Friday sale. They haven't announced what the actual prices are, but they have said that, for example, Star Wars Outlaws will be on there. So if you can, if you're curious, maybe don't spend your money yet, but kind of keep an ear to the ground, see what people think. All right. I got to show you guys some stuff, man. Well, we already talked about this. We talked about, hey, don't forget Elden Ring and Armored Core, $20 right now. I don't know how long this is going to last, but $20 right now. You don't want to miss that, especially Elden Ring. Great, beautiful, fucking brilliant fucking game. Okay, so look. Let's see, what do we got here? There is a 9-minute video that we're going to watch together. I have not seen it yet. This is for Avowed. Avowed, a bunch of press people got previews. They played for about 4 to 6 hours, and all the previews dropped today. I was waiting to watch it with you guys. I'm sure some of you have already seen this, but let's watch it. I'll pause it as we go if there's anything interesting. But overall, the responses to this have been really fucking good. The previews, yeah, Nick Wiley says, I'm hearing good things. Yeah. I don't think I've seen one negative. The only real negative, if you can call it that, is a couple reporters or people who played it said, you know, it still doesn't really have a conceptual hook, but it's really good. It's really, really good is what they're saying. So let's watch it and we'll talk about it. I'll pause it as we go, but we'll also, we'll talk about it on the other side as well. Let me get the chat here so I can see you guys though, because I'm taking up my full screen. What? There we go. All right, I'm gonna take myself off the window. I'll be back, but I'll still be here. I won't leave you. I'll be like Jesus in the footprints in the sand. Rob knows what I'm talking about. Here we go.
Phil Hornshaw. Much has been made about Avowed's approach to its setting, the Living Lands, and the fact that it is not an open-world game. Instead, Avowed's world is made up of open zones, large geographical areas that are interconnected with other large areas, the same way Obsidian's The Outer Worlds is. At least in the first of Avowed's areas, that means that developer Obsidian has put a focus on making sure that the entire space provides interesting adventures. Whether you're chasing side quests handed out by random characters populating the Living Lands' biggest city, Paradis, or just rambling through the area to see what's there, there are plenty of rewards for exploration.
That looks like a totem to your burned queen.
There are bandit camps, ruins, half-destroyed hovels, and groups of dead soldiers surrounding the corpses of huge bears. The Living Lands is a place dense with stories and thick with secrets to uncover, and even wandering aimlessly through the wilderness feels like an adventure unto itself. We recently played the first 2 hours of Avowed during a preview event at Obsidian, which provided a sense of the way your path through the game's world begins to unfold. Notably, it's not long before you wind up with more or less complete freedom about what to do and how to do it, and even in the early going, Avowed provides you with a ton of freedom about how you want to approach the game, its story, and its combat systems. After delving into Avowed's expansive character creator, you're thrown into the world. Obsidian has previously detailed the setup for the story. You play a character named the Envoy to the Living Lands by the leader of a major nation of humans and elves, the Adir Empire. The Empire has interest in the Living Lands, a somewhat isolated island known for its harsh wilderness and harsher denizens. The place has a sort of Wild West frontier vibe. People head there when they are searching for a better life or when they want to disappear. It's not a completely uncivilized place, but plenty of the people who've made the Living Lands their home are the kind of rough and tumble folks you wouldn't want to tangle with.
Shove off, Muttonhead. How's that for a parting word?
Into this individualistic, slightly lawless society comes the Adir Empire, establishing a foothold in the Living Lands that the locals view suspiciously as the first steps of colonialization and the establishment of order. As the Emperor's envoy, most people immediately view you with anything ranging from mild distrust to outright hostility. But the Living Lands also has a major problem: the Dream Scourge, a soul plague that's infecting people, wildlife, and the island itself. Essentially, those afflicted succumb to madness and fungal growths, and with no indication as to what it even is, much less how to stop it, the Emperor has dispatched you to conduct an investigation and find a way to deal with the problem. The Dream Scourge is a major threat to life in the Living Lands, and you get a...
Bukaki, how do you deal with your fungal growth? I'm just curious, maybe you could, solve that for the...
first-hand look at the effects of the madness it inflicts when the Adiran outpost, filled with your allies, fires its cannons on your approaching Adiran ship. You survive the wreck and find another crewmate on the beach, and together head to the outpost to find a way to continue your journey to the Living Lands. This early tutorial section of the game is mostly about fights with Zarup lizard people, who've taken up residence in the outpost after all the soldiers seem to have lost their minds and murdered each other. Right from the start, Avowed emphasizes its open class approach to combat. Part of character creation is picking your backstory as the Envoy, with options like setting yourself as a war hero or arcane soldier, and what you pick determines your starting weapon. You're not locked into that choice, however, and as soon as you start finding other options like spears, pistols, swords, shields, and spell-slinging grimoires, you can wield them with no prerequisites or requirements. I previously got to try Avowed's combat during an hour-long preview at a Los Angeles Gamescom event, but that demo provided a shorter and more focused look at fighting within the game, with character builds that were set ahead of time by developers. Starting from scratch, things felt a lot more open. I quickly tossed my starting dagger for a sword and grimoire so that I was able to slice through enemies or blast them with a flamethrower from my hand, watching their health tick away as they smoldered and charred. There are a lot of options for any given fight too. You can store 2 weapon loadouts at a time and swap between them instantly, even mid-attack combo, which means it's easy to alternate between 2 completely different setups. Hitting enemies damages their health, while also pushing up a meter that tracks their stamina. When it maxes out, your opponent will be stunned, leaving them open for a weapon-specific special move that triggers automatically for a ton of damage. Stealth is also always an option. Enemies often won't detect you right away, and you can sneak up and clobber them from behind by moving through tall grass or avoiding their sightlines. And there are environmental elements you can utilize to help you out as well, like fiery berries you can shoot with a bow to start a blaze. In both previews I've played, I vibed pretty well with Avowed's combat, although even in the tutorial area it can be tough. The moment-to-moment thrust is in managing a stamina meter that dictates your attacks and, even more critically, your quick, agile dodges that can get you out of harm's way. Some enemies come at you with unblockable attacks, leaving you no option but to get clear. And staying alive means a lot of sidestepping to slip past a blow and land one of your own. Most attacks land quickly, so you can strike back and then get clear or block an incoming attack, although you can also gamble with stronger charged up blows using most weapons. Everything is quick and fluid though, and the ability to constantly dual wield weapons, whether 2 of the same blade or a main weapon like a spear and an offhand weapon like a pistol or grimoire, means it always feels like you have something up your sleeve. While you're given a lot of freedom in how you want to engage with enemies, the leveling system is much more structured. You can spend skill points in any of several skill trees, each named for a different character class, like fighter or ranger. That makes it a little easier to get a sense of how you're building your character along traditional lines, without Avowed locking you into a particular class. You also unlock special abilities that run on cooldown timers, and these give you easy ways to mix together the capabilities of different disciplines without really worrying about the skill tree at all. For instance, you can get the fighter's dash tackle ability, which you can use to wallop enemies for a big stun, or the ranger's entangling magic vines that temporarily root enemies into a specific spot. Even on the short walk to the next location for the main story though, there was plenty to see. The area around Paradis is objectively not huge, as I discovered walking around it, but it's not especially small either. Importantly though, it feels bigger than it is thanks to how much interesting stuff Obsidian has packed into it. Cutting to one side of the area, I stumbled on a tall ruined building or tower of some kind. It wasn't marked by an icon or any other clues, but just looked interesting. Climbing in, I found tripwires that triggered huge swinging blades, a set of barely working traps designed to keep people out that were now exposed to sunlight and easy to dodge. Further on, I was attacked by phantoms, which looked like spectral, smoky ghosts, and killing them allowed me to reach a chest filled with a high-quality piece of armor. The entire affair took about 10 minutes and was totally optional, but exploring that little tower was a rewarding diversion that gave a little more of a sense of the living lands. Avowed appears to be littered with situations like this. I found a decrepit, abandoned house not far away on the river, where journals told me about the struggles of the farmer who used to live there. A little way down the stream was another set of ruins where bandits had set up camp. They promptly killed me as Kai yelled in the background to warn me my weak starting armor couldn't handle their much better weapons. And that was all just stuff I happened across on my way back to town. The 2-hour demo we played also included some early bits of Avowed's story. You track down the ambassador, have a weird encounter with a voiceless entity that seems to be the spirit of the living lands, and kill a huge bear afflicted with the dream scourge that's angry and covered in beautiful but horrific mushrooms. Those points are compelling, but maybe even more so are the little things that Obsidian has seeded throughout the living lands that you might miss, like that ailing farmhouse or those weird ruins. That also goes for the time you can spend with your companions. It's possible to set up camp at certain places where you can tend to things like improving your gear, and during those moments you can also talk to your pals about whatever's going on in the plot, their backstories, and more. Even 10 steps off the dock, I was surprised at how deep and expansive my camp conversations with Kai could be. There's a ton of story material in these moments, but it's all optional, allowing you to dig as deeply into the narrative and characters as you want.
How can I even thank you? You don't know the weight you've lifted from my heart.
Though we still have only seen a small portion of Avowed, it's the freedom to explore and the density of things to find, whether in combat, out in the world, or in conversations, that has me most intrigued. Avowed feels packed with things to discover for yourself, whether you're following the story or making your own way through the world. What we've seen of the Living Lands is full of life, and Obsidian's willingness to give you so much to discover that you'll miss some makes Avowed seem like the kind of game it'll be great to get lost in.
No, I'm here. I'm watching this and I'm reading your chat and I'm just, kind of like what we were talking about earlier when somebody said, I forget who it was who asked me, that was like, oh, Jaffe, do you, what do you mean when you're disconnected from the audience when you said that about Drawn to Death? I mean, I even feel it here with you guys talking. I mean, I'm just like, I'm looking at this and I'm going, a lot of the stuff that they're saying sounds awesome. When they're talking about the freedom that the game provides, you can explore things, and it's not just like, oh, you found a chest, but there's narrative elements and there are design elements that are actually handcrafted that pay off if you just start exploring, And then I got to thinking about where Xbox is, and as much as I despise the way Xbox runs product development, because based on the proof in the pudding, which is just buggy shit and shit that doesn't work that well. The one thing you've got to give, or I don't know if you have to, but the one thing or a thing I give credit to those guys is just, Stalker is so clearly a great game, even with all the bugs. It's probably never going to be for me because it's not my kind of game. But, to see a game like that on PlayStation or Nintendo, or a game like Flight Sim, or a game like Avowed, or a game like Wasteland 3, maybe it's their PC background, but there's a lot more. The production value isn't there. I agree. Only a fool, I think, would look at Avowed and go, that game is such a fucking looker. It's not. It's not a very pretty game compared to what you can play out there. But, for me, I would rather have a game that offers a great deal of play freedom than I would a game that looks just absolutely beautiful, but there's only a couple of ways to play it. Now, that's another reason I think that the FromSoftware acquisition, if it actually happens, is excellent, because you do have a company out there. There are companies that can do both, that they can make a Bloodborne or an Elden Ring. And Elden Ring's not a looker either compared to, more controlled games. But the freedom that game offers and the imagination is excellent. So I don't know, man. I have absolutely no idea if this is going to be good or bad, but I think it was Nick Wiley who was saying, are we too negative? I mean, I don't know. I don't care. Don't play it. What do I care? But I definitely think that, in some of you guys, I mean, I know who's trolling and who's not. You could literally say to AddiePie, I'm giving everybody in the chat $1,000 just as a thank you for being part of the community. And he would say, 1,000? Is that it? 1,000? Right? I mean, he's a troll, and that's fine. He's our troll, but he's a troll. Make sure you clean up under the bridge later tonight, AddiePie. But there's a lot of people that, like somebody earlier, it's like, a lot of people only want dark fantasy. I like dark fantasy, but I also like bright and, high adventure fantasy, which you don't have to. You don't have to, but I'm just saying, it's like, I hope you're not that negative everywhere. I'm going to show you. I want to talk about Assassin's Creed, but I want to introduce you first to a new feature of Gabbin' Games, and this was actually brought to us by Hector Howell, because we were talking about ways to sort of prop up the value of higher tier members. So as you know, as we've already talked about, we're doing a Gabbin' Games this weekend. If you're Cult Calypso, God of War, or a mod at either place, here or on Discord, you'll get in for both Clash of the Titans and Evil Dead. If you're not at that level, but you are a member of the Died So Soldiers or above, we'll be watching Evil Dead later that night. So hopefully we'll see you. But he said he had this idea, and I thought it was a pretty good one. So we're going to try it out. You guys let me know what you think. But His idea was, he's like, why don't you let people who are members at that tier ask questions and stuff like that, that are, you know, in the original Evil Dead, JSD, the first one, not the remake of the first one. And so he asked this question, and it's a great question, and I want to play his question for you, and then I want to actually play a very brief demo. It'll take 5 minutes. Then we'll get back to news. We got to talk about Assassin's Creed. There's some really cool shit I want to show you that's going on in England about video games. But I want to show you this demo that will answer his question. And I'm sure a lot of you guys who are over there shitting on Avowed, you'll probably shit on this as well. And that's fine. But I'm telling you, man, this is when I say games right now are some of the coolest shit that's happening. If you're like me, you're going to go, that's fucking cool. But anyway, here you go. This is the question from Good Sir Hector.
I have a question for you. What defines a great opening of a game? A first 5 to 60 minutes that hooks the user, excites them, introduces them to mechanics that will be used in the rest of the game's runtime, and fulfills the pitch upon which they've purchased the product. Thank you.
What a well-spoken...
Good afternoon, Gavin and Gabe.
What a well-spoken young man.
I have a question.
How is it possible that... How many takes did he do? That would have taken me 20 takes to do. But anyway, what he's asking is exceptionally important, and it's going to get... And by the way, if you want to ask questions, and you are Cult Calypso, Ahmad, or God of War, there is a place on the Discord for you to ask them now. It is called Record a Message for Jaffe. Whether or not it's a video or just an audio, put it up there, and I will play it on a future stream. So, but his question is really important, and it becomes more important as we do get into subscription services, you know, where the need to impress the audience quickly, because if you don't, you just go play something else on Game Pass or PS Plus or whatever. Ultimately, it's always been important, right? So God of War was all about that, right? I wanted you to start at the very beginning, just like an Indiana Jones movie that was based on the way they started James Bond movies. It's like, boom, you're in the action. Now, people have taken that to mean every game, if it doesn't start with action, Jaffe doesn't like it. And that's not what I mean. It doesn't have to be action. It doesn't have to be shoot, shoot, bang, bang. It's just got to be something that you go, okay, I'm interested. This is interesting. It can be, for some of you, story, right? It can be mechanics. It can be setting. But it's got to be, and how many minutes? Some people say first minute, then 5 minutes, then 10, then 20, you know, where you map it out. I think you can get a little crazy with that. But I certainly think first minute, first 5, first 10, first 30, first 60, first 2 hours, first 8 hours, you know, you really got to figure out what the breadcrumbs are that are going to keep people coming back. Now, obviously, the further you get down into those hours, you can start to hold out little carrots on sticks for the player that are less expensive to create because you're into the meta system, or you're just grinding because you want to see what that purple sword does, even though all it is a numerical change on the part of the game development, right? But anyway, so it is very important, and I want to make sure I get his specific question, and then I want to show you a demo that does it for me, may not for you, brilliantly.
For you. What defines a great opening of a game?
Okay, so what defines it is basically something, it's as simple as saying it's something that's engaging. And that can mean a lot of things, but it's got to make you go, oh, interesting. And I do think I accuse gamers a lot of times of having Stockholm Syndrome, where I say, you guys are willing to put up with, oh, the game is boring for the first 3 hours, then it gets good. I think that's a ridiculous get-out-of-jail-free card that you guys have been giving developers for way too long. And now the business model, if subscription services do catch on, which I think they are already starting to, will force the hand of this. Robbo, what do you mean, can we just watch the question? I've already played it once. Do you want me to play it again? Is that what you're asking me? Because, I mean, I've shown everybody the question. Are you coming late to it, or were you not paying attention? Or am I not understanding what you're asking? Anthony, you upgrade your sub. Are you on a phone? You just go to the YouTube page where you bought the sub and go to the same membership place where you got this sub and there'll be an update button. You can even do tutorials. So Awesome Tatum, and this is the demo I want to show you. Awesome Tatum says, not a goddamn tutorial, that's for sure. No, you're not wrong, but what you're wrong, you're right only as it applies to, like, I was playing, I know what it was. I downloaded this game the other day that people are like, I go to this service and they're like, hey, we're looking for somebody to stream our game and we'll pay you to do it. And so they offer up a bunch of games, and I was playing the demo to see if I was interested. And it was a twin stick shooter, and it was literally a tutorial that you can't skip. You can't skip the voice acting, and they're literally telling you things like, go forward. Okay, good job. Now use the right stick and shoot these 3 barrels. Good job. And it's just like, oh my God, dude. Trust me, if I'm playing a twin stick indie shooter, I got it. I got it. And you can bury the tutorial in the menu if you want to put it in there. But this tutorial, so this is a game that came out in January. It's early access that just launched. But the demo, I think, was in January. I have not heard enough people talking about this. This is called Tarnished Blood, okay? And I'm going to play the demo for you. And for all you motherfuckers that are out there that are constantly... congratulations, soldier, says Luke, you crouched. Right. It's like, come on, man. For all you guys that, it's got to be graphics or nothing, this is not for you. And again, I am okay sharing the planet with you. But what I'm telling you is you guys miss out on such cool shit, okay? You miss out on such cool shit, and you only got yourself to blame. But that's fine. It's your life. Do what you want with it. This is called Tarnished Blood. And it has, now, I don't know if the final game, because I haven't played the final game, is going to be amazing or not. But it has one of the most interesting, fresh RPG combat systems I have ever seen. So it's basically a structure of a game like, was it Deepest Dungeon, where you've got like the town and stuff, and you get your people together and you gear them up. And then you kind of have a basic kind of RPG motion and you make some choices, but it's really about the fights. That's the bread and butter of this game, okay? So this is the demo, and I'm not going to play the whole thing. I'm just going to show you because it deals with Hector's question, which is the opening of a game. So I'm playing this demo, and I'm immediately like, whoa, this is fucking cool. And that's in the tutorial, okay? So here we go. Let me see if I can bring it to the right fucking monitor. I hate when it does that sometimes. Get over to the right monitor, you son of a bitch. It is an early access game, if that's what you mean. Hang on. Will you please? Hang on. All right. It is usually full screen, but here we go. Okay. Let me turn it down a little bit. Okay. Who are the devs? I have no idea. I'll look it up, but I don't know top of my head. Okay. So let me just do the tutorial. Okay. So you've already... I'm just going to start a new tutorial. Okay. All right. So this guy, he's fallen. It's like, whoa, I'm falling. Whatever. Who cares? It's a story. Nobody gives a shit. Okay. I'm not saying it's a bad story, but that's not what I want to show you. Okay. You thought the Persona games, that guy has strong openings. I tried to get into Persona Gold. Was it 4? And it just went on and on and on. But people tell me, in fact, Scott Rohde, who ran PlayStation for a long time in America, was like, dude, you just have to stick with it. It is so fucking good. All right. Okay, so this is what makes this game exceptionally cool, okay? So the way you fight is time is paused, and it's almost like video editing, right? So you can take the slider and you can slide it back and forth and make choices, right? So in this point, set jump action angle and velocity shown by the arrow. Okay, so let's say, and it costs 1 movement point. I'm going to jump up here, and I'll confirm it. Okay, and from there I know what's going to happen is he stands up, the monster comes in, and he's going to jump away, okay? Move marker to peek into the future. Oh, he's going to get hit by that rock and get knocked out. Okay, so it says you're not safe yet. Okay, so use the sword slash to destroy the rock. All right, so I can say I want to fly here. I have a 90% chance of hitting the rock. Or I can hit it this way because it slashes in a weird direction. I hit confirm. Okay. It's not a lot of work. It's very easy. Okay, so watch this. Let me just take you through this battle, and then that's all I'm going to show you. But it's really neat. Okay, so the first beat of the battle is you can pick your 2 characters. Ultimately, you can have 4 characters, all very different. Blah blah blah. Okay, but in this case, this guy's going to run up, and he's going to jump, and he's going to get hit and get knocked back. That's sort of his story. So jumping wasn't a good idea. Press the right mouse button to remove that idea. Now you can add the shoot action if you want. Okay, so then you've got kind of, and he's got different body parts. I'm going to aim for the head. I'll get 3 damage points there. And I'm going to confirm it. And this little route, that means there are certain decisions that you can make that you can't take back, but other ones you can, okay? So he shoots, let's see. You can press play, okay. So here's what's happening. He comes in, he shoots, he hits. Okay. So now they're going to kind of give you some freedom here, right? So if you just drag the timeline, that's what's happening. That's all we know about this battle is this rat thing attacks him with his tongue. Okay, so let me take this guy, and what I will do... First, let's try this, because this is a bad idea, right? So I'm going to go up here. Okay, what would happen? I run up there. Okay, that would be okay if I wanted to attack his belly, but I don't. Okay, so I'm not going to do that move. I'm going to do a jump instead. So I'm going to say, I want to jump straight up. Okay, and let's see if that'll get me out of the way. Nope, see, he's going to hit me there, so I can't do that. So let's jump back. Let's try this. Okay. All right, he's not going to be able to get me, so let's confirm that. Okay, and now what I want to do is he's jumping, and at this point, I want to shoot him. So I have a couple of action points. I think I have 1 left, and I can hit the trajectory. I'm going to go for the head there, okay? And I'm going to confirm it, and now that's his turn, okay? Now I have this character, and I'm going to have this guy's more of a sword guy, not a projectile guy. So I'm going to have him run. Let's see how far he can get. Let's see where the monster will be. Is he going to be close enough? Let's see. All right, so he's going to go that close. Okay, so let's do confirm. And then when he's there, I'm going to have him use his sword to attack the head. Oh, he's going to miss him because he's not close enough. Okay, so how about I'm going to have him jump to get out of the way. All right, so he'll be okay. All right, so let's play the turn now, okay? So we say okay. So he got 3 damage there. He's safe. He's running up. He's safe. He's going to jump. Okay. So now we're into this turn, right? Like I said, I'm just going to show you this one battle. But this is... So the point is, if you are asking what a game needs in its opening, it needs something, at least for me, something like this. Because this is cool as shit for me. Okay, so we know now that he's going to get attacked if he stays there, right? So I got to figure out at some point, is he going to be able to... He can't jump because he's in the air, right? So let's try to see if we can wait until he's right here. And let's see if we can attack him before I get hit. Let's... Oh, no. That's the only time we can attack him. Okay, we'll get his neck. okay? And then he's going to get hit. There's nothing we can do about it, right? So he's going to land there, but he's not going to die. So we'll confirm that. And then let's set this guy up and say, okay, I want this guy to jump. And I want him to shoot right about here. Okay. So we'll confirm it. And then he's going to shoot. And we'll have him shoot into his neck. Okay. Confirm. I mean, this is, and again, imagine this with 4 characters, right? So he's almost dead. I've killed his neck. We're going to take out his other body parts real quick, and then we're going to move on. I'm not going to spend too much time, but I just think this answers Hector's question. This is some crazy fucking shit, and I love it. Okay, so that guy's fucked if he stays there, right? So let's have him race up to here, and let's see if he's going to be okay. Nope, not even close. So let's not do that. Let's have him jump again. What has he got, a sword? Let's have him jump up and see what happens to him. All right, he's going to be safe. So let's have him attack. Oh, okay. Okay, watch this. So confirm. Okay. So he jumps right Wait, I want this guy to attack. What's going on? There we go. Okay, he's got a shockwave. Watch this. Boom, motherfucker. Okay, and then this guy is behind him now. And we are going to have him leap up. Right there. All right, we're going to confirm it. And then he's going to shoot into his... right there. All right, here we go. I think that guy missed. That guy missed the sword attack. And he got hit with the tail. Okay, so let's see. All right, so that guy gets back up. That guy's knocked down. So I gotta... All right, let's be this dude first. When is he ready? He's ready about here. Let's have him jump. Right there. That's where you do it. Boom, right in the fucking head, bitch. Okay, so confirm that. And then... let's have him back up. Nope, he's going to get hit. Don't do that. I may have fucked that up. Yeah, I fucked that up. Too late. Let's see. All right, well, it is what it is. Come on, man. Right in the fucking eyeball. Boom. But he got hit too. Okay, so now his head's almost dead. I'll try one more time. Let's see what happens. Let's get... We talked about Avowed, dude. We just talked about it. We did the whole thing on Avowed. All right, so this guy's gonna... I want to use this shockwave here. All right, he's going to be safe. So right here is where he's going to use this shockwave. Right into his fucking belly. Fuck. And then this guy, I'm going to have him jump straight up. All right, let's see. You motherfucker. Okay, his head's destroyed. We may have killed him. Let's see. So we got his head. We got that. Oh, we just got to get the back end, and he's done. All right. So. Oh, can't do that. All right, never mind. Let's try a different jump. Nope, he's going to get hit. Okay. I get this may not be the most enjoyable thing to watch, but I mean, again, that, and take it as this. Take that problem as this, which is that's why it's hard. That's why it is hard to sell gameplay, and it's easy to sell movie trailers, right? Because this is, I mean, again, this may not be your kind of game, and that's totally fine, but this is incredibly fresh and unique and compelling for people who are like looking for something interesting. And I've never played a game like this, right? And the fact that you might be looking at this and going, oh yeah, this is fucking boring. This is fucking stupid. And it's like, yeah, because it's hard to communicate stuff like this. Okay, this guy's fucked. I can't do anything with him. Let's do this one. Let's do... this guy. All right, let's hit him right there. I mean, I don't think it requires any more patience than any other RPG. I mean, it's a turn-based RPG, right? Okay, so let's see. But he's almost done, so just bear with me if you would. Okay, he's going to get hit if he doesn't jump. Let's jump this guy. Let's see if I'll survive this. Yeah, look at that, motherfucker. So confirm, and then he's going to take a shot, and he's going to shoot right into... Confirm. Okay, this guy gets up. Let's have him jump. Man, this is hard. Can he attack there? Yeah, there are 4 characters, but right now the tutorial just lets you go 2. Yeah, he missed. God damn it. All right, I gotta kill this guy. I'm tired of waiting. Okay, so let's see. What if we do... Head's destroyed, neck's destroyed, the body. Okay. All right, so he's going to miss. I don't know what those things mean, but let's assume red means you can be in a critical position. Look at that, 7 damage. Fuck yeah, I'm taking that. Okay, and then this guy lands. Let's have him jump. Here he goes. Confirm. Right here. Here we go. And they killed him. Okay, so watch this now. So he's dead. Now you can watch the replay and see the whole adventure. Okay, so then, yeah, it's called Tarnished Blood, right? And again, I'm done playing it, but it's just like an RPG. You get your loot, blah, blah, blah. You go back to the village, and again, this is like where it's Darkest Dungeon, where you can level up your characters and go to shops and prepare and get different people going on quest with you, and then you go out and you find, you know, different monsters to slay and stuff like that. So, again, back to Hector's question. Again, I mean, listen, I absolutely get, there's nothing silly about it. I mean, it's compelling. It's different. It is fun, right? The idea, though, of looking at it and going, you've not played a game like this before. For them, I mean, you may have, but I've never seen a game like this before. And so to answer the question, if you are going... Now, again, this is not going to engage a lot of the audience that watches this show, which, of course, Jaffe explains why you showed it. I understand. But there are, you know, there are lots of things that you have to do depending on the game that you are making and depending on the audience that it's got to get them right away. This is another one I'll just show you very, very briefly. This is a pinball game, and then we're going to move back to the normal show, but it's super important. It wasn't made to market to a bigger audience. The audience for that game, I think, would be very engaged with this if you're into that. Again, this is a small game. It's a pinball game. This is not going to appeal to you if you don't like pinball, but it's pretty fucking cool. It's got 3 different tables that are stacked vertically, and you're basically trying to kill 3 bosses. Each table has a boss. And you also can use your flippers to fire and shoot. There's a little bit of a shooter. While we wait. The While We Wait game starts very interesting, right? I mean, in a lot of ways, you could argue that indie guys are much more susceptible to people walking away because, you know, you can turn around on Steam and get a refund in 2 hours. So you can try almost anything. So they have to make sure. But yeah, here you go. So I'm not going to play the whole thing, but you've got 3 tables. You've got the main boss at the top. You've got this guy in the middle and this guy, and you're trying to kill this lady. And there's a lot to it. Just like pinball, somebody's going to come along and make a pinball game that actually does have a tutorial that makes sense. I had to go on the internet and find somebody playing it for 40 minutes, and he had to explain. You know, it's amazing how deep pinball table design is, and then it's amazing that digital pinball doesn't go out of its way to explain all the shit, right? But that said, though, let me just show you a couple of minutes of this, and then we'll get back to it. All right. So you can tilt the machine. You can catch the balls. You can pull down on your tilt to fire, right? Let me use the controller. It's probably actually better. Oops. let's see. Do I have any ammo yet? Yeah, so you can activate the ammo if you've picked up enough ammo by shooting by the flippers. But what you really want to do is get to that top table because that's where the main boss is. And it's a very deep series of mechanics in the pinball table that you can start to learn how to level it up and stuff. But let me try to get the ball up to the top there. Oh. There we go. Okay, come on. Motherfucker, Jaffe. Let me see if I can just get to the top table real quick, then I'll stop playing. God damn it, Jaffe. Fucker. Right. All right, but you get the idea. You get the idea. It's really, really cool, right? So the point is, yeah, it's on Steam. The point of this is, though, is if you're into pinball, and I know not everyone is, that's one of those things that you want to make sure that those first couple of minutes you're immediately going, fuck. But the same thing applies, you know, to God damn it, in the game. The same thing applies to the big budget shit as well, right? So, quit to menu, hang on. You gotta engage right away, baby. Otherwise, yeah, you know, it's getting harder and harder to do. Would you like me to show you one more thing just for all you nerds? This is at least a little faster. Now, what's funny is this is a game that I may not buy, even though it seems like I would. Because I think the demo is just a little bit, they don't offer enough. And you want to kind of get a sense of, is this, you know, is this going to deliver at the level that it seems to promise, which is basically Star Fox. So if you go to, not going to play the whole thing, but it's clearly inspired by Star Fox. And it's cool. I mean, it's really good. It's just that I'm not ready to pull it's not out yet, but I'm not ready to pull the trigger even if it was, because they're not giving you enough. But if you like Star Fox or Panzer Dragoon or any of that shit, if you want a new Star Fox game, this is it, basically. And it's very anime. They've got these cool mechs that come up out of the ocean, and let's see, you can change your, let's try this one. Oh, and you've got to charge your batteries to get some of these attacks. Let's see. All right, you get the idea, though. But so this is one that opens, I think, really strong, but it doesn't really elevate. So after about maybe 15 minutes, you go, maybe not, right? Whereas I'm very inclined to go buy that RPG we were talking about earlier because I'm like, this looks really deep and interesting and will entertain me for a long time. So this isn't a pinball game, PK. That was not a pinball game. Okay. Let's get back to it. Maybe. Let me see what else we got lined up. We got a bunch of stuff, but I might just get that later. Yeah, I'll save all that. It's been a long show. But I do want to tell you this. Seriously, do not forget, fellas, if you've stuck around for the whole show, thank you. To Saturday. Saturday is Pot and Popcorn. Clash of the Titans starts at 4:30 over on the Discord for all members, all mods. No, that's wrong. No, I'm not. Clash of the Titans actually is... I think I have those flipped. Clash of the Titans is for the cult members and above, and then all members are getting Evil Dead. So that I'll fix that, and that'll be happening coming up Saturday. Cantankerous Games wants you to know, thank you, buddy. 29 months. He says, have you ever considered long-form review content? Good God, 29 months, that's 3 babies. I mean, not really. I was doing this thing called Brain on Games, and I still am doing it, which is long-form deep dives into demos or games like Silent Hill. The problem is, they take a real long time to do, and there's a lot of people doing them, and I kind of enjoy this more, but I certainly would do one if there was a lot of people saying, please spend a lot of time talking about a specific game, but it's not something I want to make a regular thing out of, no. Thank you very much. Jojo D has upgraded his membership. You goddamn right. You goddamn right. And I'll tell you something else, Jojo D. Look what I got for that beautiful movie night is gelato from Tori Holistics. What is this one called? It says they're all flavored. I never get the flavor. I got one that's supposed to be like French toast. It don't taste like French toast. This is supposed to be dragon fruit. We'll see. We'll see Saturday. But it's a mix of indica and stadia, whatever the fuck it's called. I'm looking forward to it. But yeah, Jojo D, I appreciate that. I appreciate your support always. Thank you, buddy. And I think that's the show, man. Let me go to the chat, see if there's anything I'm missing, if you guys want to talk about anything specifically. Otherwise, we'll mosey off into the evening, and I'll see you guys sometime, definitely Saturday, but I might spend most tomorrow putting up videos, chopping up the stream, or maybe I'll do a proper Gabbing and Games. I don't know yet. I don't know. Thank you, that guy. That guy drops a super chat. Well, he gives me a little Fonzie thumbs up, and I appreciate that, buddy. Very generous, buddy. Very, very kind, very courteous. This is the bootleg Star Fox you find at an Asian mall, I guess. It's evil. Okay, so here's what it is, Nick Wiley. Clash the Titans comes first. That will be at 4:30. And that will be for Cult of Calypso, like your very own Jojo D, for God of War members, like your very own Hector Howell, and mods that are here, like RPG, or mods that are over on Discord. And then Evil Dead will start, 5-10 minutes after we wrap up Clash, so that'll probably be about 6:15. And that will be for all members, any tier, and all mods, basically. Yes, that will be for Evil Dead. Yeah, I got it flipped, but I'll fix it. Yeah, no, Silent Hill blows on the Pro, which is so crazy, Anthony, because I played it on the normal and it was great. But I hear there's a patch coming. Absolutely. Oh, good. You'll smoke some weed as well. Excellent. Well, hopefully we'll see you there. Jaffe's going to get some Taco Bell. Not now, Tyler, but I will for Pot and Popcorn. All right, let me make sure I got everyone. I think that's it, though, because I think we're going to do a little... I got to do some budget shit tonight. We're going to watch some TV tonight with the family, which I really enjoy, and prep for some Thanksgiving. So, but thank you guys for joining me. Thanks for spending the time with me. New members, welcome. All the super chats and membership gifts from people like Jojo D. Thank you, fellas. And I will get back to you guys about Black Ops 6 when we're going to be streaming that and locking down the team. So, but in the meantime, be well, be safe, and I will see you guys really, really soon. Bye, everybody. Maybe. Come on now. There we go.